Hi, it's been a minute. Just in my garage, just chilling. Found myself in a funk. Didn't know what I wanted to say. I still don't really know. Kind of just been going through it. But one thing that I've learned is I've built up some discipline, and that's been driving me and pushing me to carry on and continue and to strive and to push through the valleys, I guess. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, same amount of days in a year, and I guess as far as things go, I've been struggling to find my niche, my foothold, my path, my groove. And sometimes that gets deflating and defeating. It's been a tough one. I've been trying to really absorb and understand some of the things that I'm learning with my coach, like majoring in the minors. That one really struck with, filling your plate with too much and trying to do everything and finding your burnout point and beating yourself up over some of the small things. We all are struggling, we all struggle. Life is just it's a real thing. It's just happens. We're all a species of human that's just trying to roll through this life and provide life to our kids, hopefully better than the one that we had, and shit going on in the media, and politics are happening, and inflation happens, and your addictive nature plagues you, and your routine that you got stuck in the ruts with, and trying to battle out of that, even though you found your kind of comfortable nature in your plagued state. Ugh. It's tough, and it's a wild ride to try and find your vantage point or your trajectory point of how am I going to get out of this, or how am I going to find my purpose to drive myself forward every day. And I think that's what we all need. That's one thing that I've learned, is just finding your purpose, your everyday purpose. I have 2 kids that just jumped onto summer holidays, and a wife, a house, and goals. I think we all have goals. My goal as a young man going to college and stuff was to own a music store. And then I seen the invention of iTunes. Shortly after that, Spotify. Napster was before that. That ages a person. And I just kind of seen my dreams. Although music stores still exist, they're kind of a Hobby Lobby. And I seen my initial dreams kind of not go up in smoke, but I had to rethink the wheel. And I can humbly say at 38 years old, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I know that through my personal journey, I've lost some weight, and I've been able to inspire, work with, work alongside, build up some friends and family members that have messaged me and or worked out with me and said, hey man, you've really helped me, and I enjoy doing that. I know that I really enjoy doing that. That just inevitably, I think everybody, it just makes a person feel pretty good. So I'm trying to figure out how and where messy action comes into play. My coach has this other thing he says, We want to do messy action. I love it. If you're someone like me, I'm not a everything needs to be perfect person, but I will sit there and nitpick on what I need to do, how I need to do it, what I need to get lined up, so that I can try and make everything as perfect in my brain on pass number 1 as I can make it, when in reality, you just got to get going, you got to get started, you got to figure out that, hey, you know, I've been doing this for 3 months and this isn't working, and try something different. Messy action, the way that my coach was explaining it, and it makes so much sense, is just get going, just get moving. Push the envelope that way, go forward. And if it doesn't work, be honest with yourself, be truthful with yourself, and learn when to pull the ripcord, get out of there and start the new thing. And, you know, no entrepreneur, business owner, successful, anything in any type of business is any different than you, me, or the person over there. It's just a matter of deciding you're going to be the person that pushes, or you're going to be the person that plans. And unfortunately, sometimes the planners execute their thing and it works out very well. And lots of times the planners get beat out to the punch because there's some crazy wild folk out there that are just willing to go and try it, and they've done 4, 5, 6 different things already, and then they finally landed on the one that you were thinking about, and they've already beat you to it because they're just willing to try it. And that is something that's been very tough for me. I know growing up, I found myself, I don't know, felt like we were kind of taught, maybe, show up every day, work as hard as you can, and let your work speak for yourself, and, you know, good things happen to good people. But then you also have been told so many times that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Back to life being a crazy, wild ride, roller coaster thing that is just tough. One thing that's helped me was finally building, like I said at the beginning of this video, some of that discipline. Finally just said I want to do something. I wanted to do it for one day for one whole year. And I chose to get up and do some movement, 1 mile a day. I wanted to do it for 1 calendar year. And that the day after, just woke up and went out again. And knock on wood, I haven't missed a day since. I'm proud of that. And so for that, I've built a little bit of discipline. But discipline isn't everything. Discipline is the main thing. I think that should be the foundation, is find your way to discipline. So it took me a lot of failures. I did every crash diet, every fad diet, every get skinny quick scheme. I tried every ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, Weight Watchers diet, fasting, juicing, you name it, and had some success along the way. And then finally one day, after talking to my boy Andre at Iron Nation and GP, I signed up for a workout regimen with a diet, and talked to him and just said, hey, I have been having success. My joints in particular have been feeling pretty good on this kind of more carnivoristic ketogenic diet. Is it okay if I stay within my caloric values but stay on this diet rather than the one that you guys provided for me? He says, yeah, that's fine, that'll work. just track your pictures, everything like that. We're still just gonna whatever. So so what I ended up doing in the end that I found the most success with was I had to change this because everything that I grew up eating and then just not having the understanding of nutrition and stuff like that, just you gotta learn yourself. Doctors, they don't study enough to have a real good opinion, and the food pyramid's kind of a wild deal. Whole foods are good though. Like, let's get that straight. So anyway, I ended up mirroring a mind shift change of changing my diet forever, and I wanted to just eat cleaner and understand what I'm ingesting. You know, granola bars are kind of a useless sugary deal the way that they're made. There's better ways to eat. So changed the diet and then had an 8-week workout program that we tracked. Like, you know, you see guys at the gym walking around with a binder. Ours was over an app on the phone, tracked you so that week by week you could see and push yourself. And I'd already been on the mission. I'd been like maybe 6 months into 1 mile a day, as well as changing my diet. So my weight loss had been happening. And then I added some resistance training. And that's been one thing, you know, like all of us, we all get peaks and valleys in life. You get hit with anxiety, depression, whatever they're called nowadays. And they were called something else when we were younger. And in some cases, you know, there's enough gas in the tank to get yourself out of bed and get yourself to work, because you know you got to pay your bills, and you know there's this much purpose in your life. At least you got a discipline at the base to get up and do that hard activity in the morning. For me, morning. And then at least that part's out the way. And then usually, and it doesn't work every day, but usually when I'm faced with shittier anything that could happen, pop up during the day, it's easier attained to get through that tough valley. I've already done something really, really, really hard today. You know, whether push myself in the gym, whether it was a HIIT workout, whether it was a chest workout, whether it was went for a long run. I did something very, very hard today already. So hit me with it, bro. I will work with you as best I can. And you know, there's still days. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I messed up packing my lunch, so I'm gonna be a little hungrier than normal. Life still happens, but I found for me, it's been a master class of a difference. You can't, there's no way to be in the gym and out train a shitty diet, and diet's everything. And you know, us as humans, the way that we make foods nowadays, I think when you look at the big scheme of it, it was a necessity because our populace is so big. We wanted to have more yield of our grain, and so they, you know, started being crazy, wild scientists, doctors, blah, blah, to make our grain better, or higher yield of gluten, or, you know, mass farms with chickens and pigs and cows. It's gross. I don't like it either. But along with that, they've also packed in a bunch of stuff to keep the stuff on the shelf or in your pantry longer, and all those sorts of things come with a downside, you know, and we didn't know back then. But in my opinion, and again, I'm not a doctor, but you see a lot of gluten intolerances, and my guts don't process this type of food properly anymore, or this or that. I'm intolerable to that. Gluten's the big one, and I think I was just talking about it with my buddy this morning, and you know, if we were able to break out of what we are, you know, currently in right now, in what we have available in the grocery store, and take the extra 2 seconds per item and take a look at what's on the back. what are the main ingredients you're putting in your body? It matters. Yeah, I used to convince myself every day of the week, I'm just a big boned kid. I'm never going to be this weight, or I'm never going to have this type of a body. I'm just a bigger kid. And I used to never think that this was negative self-talk. In a way it is, and in a way it isn't. Just a matter of whatever opinion. But like, you're just a big boned kid. This is it. And then I started listening to different people talk about food, searching out different ways to work out. CrossFit became a big thing. Regular old gym bros are still a thing. Why are these people that are running triathlons and marathons? There's so many different ways to do it. And then there's people that cook food for a living and help you achieve your goals. What are they understanding that I don't get? So anyway, I've been rambling, but I learned some things about food along the way. I started listening to different people and talked to my wife and worked out kind of a plan as a team. And not the one and only time, but the major win in my life and my journey with this nutrition thing, we wrote down a major plan. The end goal was to be 199 pounds. I wanted to be in what we call Wonderland, the 100-pound area. I was 298 pounds at the time. I had never gone out of my way to research nutrition. I just kind of understood, kind of naive, ignorant, so to speak. Doctors should be able to tell me what I need. There's all these people that did all these things, went to school. No, I just started opening my eyes myself and talking to people that have had success in these areas, and then finally realizing that I got to be accountable for me. And if I'm just taking everybody's word for it, like, everybody's got an agenda to push. We're all human. Like, we're all here to whatever our purpose is. And so if you're a doctor, your purpose is to make people better. But there's also, kind of a weird concept with doctors that they're promoted to push pharmaceuticals. And they don't learn about nutrition in in university, unless you're going in to be a nutrition specialist. So that, doctors are necessary, but they're there to get the poison out of you, or, and the more medicine they push, especially if it's man-made in any way, like, there's going to be repercussions that on a human body come out of that. Just things that I've learned and then I've experimented and experienced on myself. So anyway, we buckled it down to basically an elimination diet, and we've been now, so we can enjoy life. I'm with my coach, Matt, now. I've been focusing on learning how to count macros and understand macros, so you can still have some room for, for lack of a better, piss off day of, I want to have a burger and fries. Well, you can. You're allowed. But movement matters too. For me, it did anyway. I started working out with a bit of a purpose, as well as fueling my body with a purpose. And at the end of the first year that I did my 1 mile a day with a diet change and a workout change, I lost 100 pounds. And knock on wood, I have been able to achieve and keep that off. And then some. I am, I believe, 122 or 23 pounds down from my initial, and just trying to find where I want to fit in to that, what I want my body to be. And we're going to learn how to shift our mind a little bit. it took me a long time to realize, like, the way we talk to ourselves matters, the way that we treat ourselves matters. Having a plan and having a vision and having a mission matters. Otherwise, you're just waking up and rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, and you'll find your way to a valley. I'm just working my way through that one. The way in which we talk to ourselves matters. And I think that we don't give ourselves enough grace in this, because we know that, the way we speak to our friends matters, and being a support system for our friends matters. Considering it a win when our friends win matters. Therefore, generally, you get the same back. That all matters. So why are we calling ourselves dumb, stupid? Why'd you do that, idiot? Instead of like, oh, we'll get him next. Like the same thing as like on a baseball team. You mess up, be quick. Oh, you dummy. And then, you try not to call yourself dumb, obviously, but look at your teammates, say, sorry, boys, I'll get it on the next one, apologies. And your teammates are there to lift you up. No biggie, Hollow, we'll get it. We'll get you on the next one. We'll get it back. So if you're supposed to talk like that amongst your peers, why whoop your own ass into such a defeat? Personally, here, it all matters. And it's taken me maybe too long to realize and start really initiating this. But if you want to win. Tell yourself you're going to win. Talk to yourself like a fucking winner. If your goal is to run a marathon, set your goals. Don't slack off in training, but keep telling yourself you're going to do it. There's more to it, like you got to train, you got to succeed in the training, your diet matters, what you do daily matters, stretching matters, your mindset matters, but the mindset matters. It matters big time, and that starts with you. So I've rambled this way, I've rambled that way, I've rambled this way, I've rambled that way. I ran out of things to say. I found myself in a depressive funk, and we all have them. Discipline matters because it's your base. Finding the things that, when I talk to my kids, I told them a long time ago, they asked me, why do you go to the gym? And I said, because I want to keep my demons at bay. I want to keep my head quiet, my heart quiet, and my head on the mission. And I lost focus on the mission lately. But my base of discipline kept me marching forward, so to speak. And I was still showing up at the office every day, still getting the sweat in every day, still trying to chase some of my goals, getting personal bests in the gym. But I lost focus of the mission. And when you lose purpose, and you lose focus, you lose drive. And that drive usually comes in spurts from motivation. But if you at least have that discipline, just something that I've learned from listening to like Eric Thomas, Jocko, David Goggins, Cameron Haynes, and then I stumbled into my coach, Matt Orlando. Discipline will win every time, but you got to fuel that discipline with the right points. So that's what I'm learning with Matt. We're shifting our mind a little bit. It matters how you talk to yourself. It matters what you do every day. It matters how you plan. It matters it matters. It fucking matters. Everybody's wired different too. Everybody's gonna find that drive and that mission statement different. They're going to find the person that pushes them to be different. Everybody's going to be different. But at the core bottom of it all, I think that we as humans just, like, you need to have a mission, a goal, a purpose, and discipline. Sorry I was away so long. Thanks for supporting me. If you ever want to talk about anything, if you ever want to do one of these things with me, if you ever want me to talk about something, maybe you're embarrassed about talking about something, I'll talk about it right here and see if I've struggled with it and what I've done, and maybe we can find a way to open this thing up a little bit more with everybody. Anyway, I'm Kyle. I'm not a failure, but I've failed many times. I call those learning moments. I found myself at the bottom of a valley many times, but I consider myself a winner. Bumps in the road and valleys, dark days, rainy days. If you can find a way to forge through, I tend to think that it really gives a person gratitude and solace over the sunshine, warm days, and the rainbows. So, anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. 1 mile a day.